everybody is just trying to figure this shit out. Everybody's on this fucking spinning rock in the middle of the cosmos, hurtling through space around a massive fucking black hole, just trying to draw purpose out of awareness. Think about that. We're just living creatures experiencing a human experience on this fucking spinning rock in space. And none of us know why we're here. Ain't none of us know for certain if we're the only ones in the fucking universe or if there's actual life out there. And because of that, we try to find purpose in our day-to-day lives. And we draw purpose in a lot of different, either arguably lower level ways or higher level ways. Men of action, likely you, draw purpose out of worthy ideals, talking about the definition of success earlier. But mediocre people, people who stay stuck, people who never grow, they draw purpose out of drama, out of fucking just like situations and stories in their own head, out of what are the Kim Kardashian family doing tonight? I called it the Kim Kardashian family. The Kardashians, what are they up to today? And they try to find purpose out of drama because they don't realize that, hey, maybe I can actually find purpose towards a worthy ideal. Right now, you're trying to improve your dating life if you're watching this shit, and that is a worthy ideal. I would say it's the most worthy ideal because outside of, colonizing the cosmos as a human race, I would say probably the next most worthy ideal possible is to figure out how to fucking pass on your genes to the next generation. At the end of the day, a lot of our motivations, if you really think about it, come down to just two things: survival and reproduction, right? Survival and reproduction. Why do you want money? So you can pay your rent. Why do you want to pay your rent? And why do you want to constantly upgrade your house and upgrade so you can attract a mate and so you can live a high quality life with that mate, right? So at the end of the day, it really all comes down to sex and reproduction, survival, and passing your genes on to the next generation. And because of that, people, we're all just trying to figure this shit out. Just like you, just like me, just like Chris, just like everybody here watching this shit right now. And we're all learning at our own pace. Oftentimes, like we said, slipping back into old ways because of losing focus, clarity, or your emotional rhythms. Sometimes you feel like it. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're angry. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're pissed. Sometimes you're happy. Sometimes you're euphoric. Sometimes you're depressed. We're all human people. We all have emotional rhythms, right? We're all human people. That sounds kind of redundant. And we're learning at our own pace, all right? And the trick is to make note of those crucial needle-moving lessons, those nuggets of insights that really do help you blast through some of your ceilings in your own life. Even if you slip back into your old ways, it's fine. What's crucial is to draw awareness and make note of those crucial needle-moving lessons, and then taking more wise action, which is applied knowledge, taking more wise action faster and more consistently than anyone else. The way to do this is to find someone who's been in your shoes and is only about 10 to 20 steps ahead of you. You don't want someone who's not far ahead of you because they're not really going to help you move the needle because they're pretty much exactly where you are now, right? You want someone who has been through the shit that you're going through and is about 10 to 20 steps ahead of you because now they have clarity and perspective and, more importantly, wisdom on how to bring you here faster than I got here myself, right? This is called time collapsing. When you can find a mentor, someone who's 10 to 20 steps ahead of you, you time collapse because that person had to learn some lessons. Even if they had their own mentor, they had to learn through a little bit of trial and error, less than the mentor that came above them. Or if they did it by themselves, they definitely had to learn through trial and error and waste a lot of time doing it. But trial and error, because it's trial and error, it's like a rat in a maze. You don't fucking know. You're just tossing and turning until hopefully you find your destination, right? But when you find someone who's been on the path that you need to go on, you're not like a rat in a maze anymore. You're just like you're like a car on a road, and the mentor, the person ahead of you, is just lighting the road for you, saying, hey, this is the path. Just follow the lights. Just follow the lights. Right? And so you get to the end goal faster when someone is able to reach back, who has clarity and perspective on your situation, and pull you up to them. And if you see how this connects to the first point we made, you can be that person for the people in your environment. The only way for you to grow is to be a little bit selfish. at the beginning. I say this because so many guys stop taking action. They stop growing because the moment that they start taking actions that are a little bit out of character for them, they start doing things a little bit differently than they thought they did before. They actually start setting goals for themselves. Well, what you might not have seen coming is the negative repercussions or criticism that you get from your family. Your family doesn't agree with your life decisions. They don't like the way you've been lately. Your significant other or your friends and your coworkers, your peers, they call you out for acting weird, acting different. Why are you acting so try hard, man? Why are you doing things like that? When in reality, you're just trying to apply something and become better at something that you were never good at before, but because they're in ignorance. They're in the matrix still. They're living in that ignorance is bliss lifestyle, right? They are part of the faceless sea of mediocrity out there. Because of that, they don't have the inspiration to change like you. And so when they see you changing, it makes them feel insecure because they're like, what are you doing, man? We're used to you being this way, so be this way. Do you see how flawed that is, right? So when you can break out in that environment by being a little bit selfish and just doing as Robert Downey Jr. would say, or any wise person would say, is just listen, smile, agree, and then do whatever the fuck you were going to do anyways, right? Listen, smile, agree, and then do whatever the fuck you were going to do anyways, because when you raise yourself up, now you can be that mentor to them. They're not going to believe you, and they're not going to have your back until you show them that you have done exactly what you set out to achieve. And here's the crazy part. Even if you've done exactly what you set out to achieve and they didn't like it at first and they criticize you at first and you go back and you say, hey, I fucking did it. They're still not going to care. You're not going to get the validation that you're looking for a lot of different reasons. One, the hungry don't get fed. And if you're only doing this for the validation of them, they're not going to feed you that validation. And two, because it was never about you. It was never about you. It was never because you were acting different. It was because they felt insecure about the fact that you were acting different. There's a key distinction there, right? So if you're looking for validation, if you're looking for that fuck you moment, I did it, mom and dad, or whatever it is for you, right? If you are resonating with this at all, just know, do this for you. Be a little bit selfish for you to grow. That way you're not getting held back by the negative environment. But more importantly, now when you raise yourself up, the people who really do vibe with you, the people who really are called to action the same way that you were, now you can be a mentor figure to them. Do you see? Right? So it is a cycle because I'm 10 to 20 steps ahead of this cycle on you, right? Because I'm coming back now and trying to raise you up. Right? I'm giving back because these are the lessons that I've had to learn the hard way. And you don't have to learn the hard way. You just have to get a mentor who's been there on that same path that you want to be on, right? You want to find someone who has the results that you want and then learn from them. Now, here's going back to that 10 to 20 steps. You don't want someone who's 100 steps ahead of you, right? You don't want to learn game from someone like Dan Bilzerian, who's just trying to figure out how to have 2 or 3 5-sums in a day rather than just 1 5-sum. And that's a true story, by the way. I heard that from a close source, right? You don't want to learn from someone who's 100 steps ahead of you. Now, maybe if you're having 5 3-sums in a day and you want to start having 5-sums in a day, hey, man, Dan Bilzerian's your guy, right? But if that's like so far out of your realm of reality, it would do nothing for you to learn from someone like that. Here's why. If I related back to my business, Raw Dating Advice, I've been in a lot of rooms with high-level entrepreneurs, high performers, right? But Raw Dating Advice is still a relatively small operation. When I think back to some of the people who I've met and had the chance to network with, some of these people are running $100 million companies. If I asked a person running a $100 million company, hey, what should I do at this phase in my business? They're so far out, removed from my situation that it's not even relatable to them anymore. They're thinking like the problems that they're dealing with when they have hundreds and hundreds of employees are not even on the same plane of existence as someone who's got a team of under 10 to 20 people, right? You want someone who's about 10 to 20 steps ahead of you. That way you're going to essentially time collapse the most efficiently.